Hello, Sal. It's great to see you today.
Hi, Kate. Good to see you too.
I'm so excited to talk about the Bangladesh site visit that you were able to go on this biennium. I know with COVID, it was really hard to get on the ground with some of these projects. And when we were able to finally travel again and get to these places, we can truly see the impact of our projects. So we know that 78% of averted child marriages in the past 25 years were in South Asia, with the largest declines in India and notable declines in Bangladesh. What did you learn about how Bangladesh is addressing child marriage to see these amazing results?
Actually, I learned a lot. Of course, I did know the facts before, but that site visit really kind of opened my eyes to the fact that actually Bangladesh has really shown strong political will to end child marriage, which is a huge challenge in Bangladesh. Bangladesh has the National Action Plan to end child marriage, and it's a central strategy, and it aims to eliminate child marriage by 2041. This is an initiative from 2018, and since then, of course, Bangladesh has experienced and been through many changes, and is still currently, since August 2024, been under interim government. Taking this situation, the situation may not be as clear as it should be or as it could. However, this plan is still at the table. And the goal of this national plan is to end the marriage of girls below the age of 15 years and to reduce by 1/3 the rate of marriages for girls aged 18 already in 2021, which didn't really totally happen. However, the progress has been significant. And then going forward with these years, completely eliminate child marriage by 2041. This plan has been developed by Ministry of Women and Children Affairs and UNICEF Bangladesh. And this is really where the kind of the legal framework comes together. And there is a Child Marriage Restraint Act, which aims to close these loopholes and enforce these age limits. Of course, legal reform alone is not enough. And taken the kind of exceptional times where Bangladesh has been through, this legal reform is not enough. It requires that the community engagement comes to the picture and education to shift deep-rooted norms. So let me explain a bit more. I'm a little bit excited about this because I really think that this matches actually very nicely with the global program we are funding. So things would have been done in Bangladesh. They have been put a lot of focus on adolescent girls' empowerment. What does it really mean? It means that girls aged between 10 and 19 have been provided life skills training, of course, education, vocational training, have been learning about protection mechanisms for such girls and young mothers who are at risk. And these interventions are really designed to build resilience and agency, helping the girls envision futures beyond early marriage. And these programs are not just preventing harm, but actively creating new opportunities for girls to thrive, which is, of course, a brilliant and right way to do things. But this is not the only thing which has been taken. Bangladesh has also been investing in behavioral change and communication. What does it really mean? It means that religious leaders, parents, and local influencers have been engaged for the change. Role models, positive role models, have been promoted. There have been a lot of community dialogues and also leveraging social protection schemes to reduce economic pressures that drive early marriage. So it's all about changing mindsets, especially among men and elders, which is very crucial as empowering girls. And as noted before, all these things what Bangladesh has been introducing are also part of the global program, which UNFPA and UNICEF is driving in the program Zonta is funding.
I see there's so many different areas that child marriage affects within anyone's life. If they're affected by child marriage, it gets connected with climate justice, education equality, women in decision-making, and ending violence against women are four main causes. What connections weren't as obvious until you were there?
That is a powerful and thoughtful question. And I'm happy to see that actually the global program really fits into Zonta's strategy in so many fronts. If I go by one, and talking first about education equality, child marriage is both a cause and consequence of educational inequality. When girls are married early, they are often also forced to drop out of school, cutting short their potentiality. And conversely, keeping girls in school is one of the most effective ways to prevent child marriage. And that was also very much emphasized during the site visit with both of our partners. Girls' education is the key. Education gives the girls the tools to say no to early marriage. It also would give tool for their parents to say no to early marriage and yes to the future of their own choosing. Another topic which comes, of course, with the child marriage is ending violence against women, which is another focus area for Zontans. Child marriage is a form of gender-based violence. It often leads to further abuse, including sexual violence, early pregnancy, domestic violence, etc. Ending it is essential for breaking the cycle of violence. It also was a kind of a reminder for myself that prevention is the most powerful form of protection. About climate justice, climate change as such exacerbates poverty and displacement, which then can increase the risk for child marriage as a kind of a coping mechanism. In climate vulnerable regions of Bangladesh, like there in the south at the coastline where they have a lot of flooding, families may marry off daughters to reduce economic burden or perceiving risk. And the link between climate stress and child marriage is striking. And it really reminded me that Zonta is right in choosing the climate justice as one of its focus areas for advocacy. Fighting climate change must include gender justice because girls and women are the ones who first pay the price of environmental instability. And last but not least, women in decision making. Child marriage limits girls' opportunities to participate in civic life and leadership. Ending it is a prerequisite for building a better world for women and girls, building future leaders for the globe, who can then shape the communities, shape the future and the policies. All of these focus areas are very much interlinked with the topic of ending child marriage.
Absolutely. I think it's really powerful that we can see that it all starts with one thing, and it's something that we can actually work against. I know that we always think toward the future, building a better world. We've been talking about these higher ideas here about our causes and what the country has been doing, what Bangladesh has been doing. But when you're on the site visit, it gets that opportunity to really meet people and to see their personal story. Thinking how you felt on the site visit, what was the moment that just made you stop and pause? And why did it affect you this way?
There were many moments. We get to visit so many places. We went for schools, we went to student fair, we went to workplaces offering for vocational training for these girls who have been subject to child marriage. One particular moment was a meeting with certain local leaders and dignitaries. The most top-ranked leader was not too keen, actually, on discussing with us on this topic, which kind of reminded me that even if progress has been made, it can also be very, very vulnerable. And that is why projects like the Global Programme which Zonta is funding, is important. There is always a risk to take steps backwards if no clear frameworks are established and if no strong civil society exists to defend the progress. So that was for me a kind of a key takeaway from all what I really saw and what I heard. And I have to say that at the same meeting, there were many other leaders who were really passionate about this topic and were really willing to push forward and push back. But perhaps the most senior leader, he was perhaps a little bit new to his position, still new circumstances, but that was a kind of a reminder to all of us that we really need to convince all those leaders, so they're on the top, that if something is an important issue, it needs to be taken to the legal framework, but then also to be monitored and supervised that progress is continued and is implemented in a right way.
What message would you like to send to our members about supporting this project?
Keep on supporting the project. Keep on doing the advocacy work to end child marriage everywhere around the globe. Those millions of girls subject to child marriage belong to school. They do not belong to the bed, typically with much more elder men. And as Zontians, we can influence in changing laws. We can influence in changing attitudes. Child marriages do not belong to 2020s. It's a cruel human rights violation. Keep walking and keep talking without tiring. And thank you for the work done ending child marriage through service and advocacy actions.